Forging ahead amidst a pandemic. The year 2020 is marked by the COVID-19 crisis. Against this backdrop, we would like to share with you the stories of a few textile and garment industry leaders who have remained agile and resilient, exploring new opportunities, or even contributing to the community. Featuring Shirley Chan, with host Nicole Kohlers. Welcome to ITMA Live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another ITMA Live session, Forging Ahead Amidst a Pandemic. It's my pleasure to introduce our guest today, Shirley Chan from Arcteryx. Arcteryx is a Canadian company that provides to over 3,000 retail locations worldwide, including over 80 branded stores. Shirley has more than 30 years of diverse experience in apparel manufacturing. Ladies and gentlemen, Shirley Chan. Hello, Shirley. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
So, Shirley, Arcteryx is highly regarded in the ITMA family. Please do briefly tell us more about Arcteryx and the secrets behind its success.
Arcteryx is a brand we're a Canadian brand first and foremost. We're started in a place just in the rainforest beside the coastal mountains in BC. Where we started off our journey as a harness and backpack maker, and that is actually translated into making a whole collection of waterproof gear. We're known for Gore-Tex. We're known for really light but warm synthetic and down insulation pieces. And mostly, I think over the 30 years, we've developed a reputation for pushing the boundaries of what is possible in the outdoor industry. When people ask what our secret sauce is, I'd actually have to answer that it's our people and our culture, along with the fact that we are located right in a very cold and very wet environment. Vancouver, if you've been here before, you'll know that it's raining more days than it's not. Today, we're actually on a bright sunny day, but it's unusual and it kind of makes us happy. The brand itself is probably successful because we still act like that startup that was there 30 years ago. It's a bunch of excessive people, some really talented people, and a really strong sense of pride of what it is that we do for making not only great product, but the right product.
I get a sense that you're a lovely community at Arcteryx. I have a question about the pandemic. It has presented many challenges. How has Arcteryx been coping? Have you had to make any adjustments?
We've certainly been coping. I'd have to say that it certainly has affected business in general. It has been a pause. But we're taking this pause as a time to reflect and also thinking about what's ahead for us as a brand. We know that as a company, we're very resilient, but we've been growing at a really rapid pace for the last couple of decades, and we've not had a chance to get what happens inside in order. So we're taking that chance right now. We do know that we have a diversified global footprint. So when the East was opening up, when the West was closing, our e-com base has remained strong. It's certainly the part of our business that has stayed open throughout the pandemic, and it's been able to kind of keep afloat. And we're coming into a pretty strong quarter in our last quarter of the year.
So you can say that there are definitely some positive outcomes. Are there any lessons that you would like to share? Anything perhaps you've been able to reach out to the community?
I think when we talk about lessons that we want to share, I'd say we've actually learned a lot about how to make physical product without having a physical presence. We had to sort of figure out the right balance of working in the building and out of the building. We've also had to really think about and reflect on what our first instinct was. Our first instinct was to protect the business health, to make sure that we were making wise business decisions as we were in this fog and we didn't know what would actually happen as we come out of this fog. But that kind of led us to thinking of what those decisions did and how they impacted our manufacturing community, particularly the most vulnerable members in it. So we've taken some small steps. One of those has been to sign up with the Fair Labor Association, FLA, and we're kind of in the onboarding stage at this point. But that was an initiative that was born out of COVID for us.
So your company has a strong commitment to constantly create new value for your customers. In this respect, how critical is it in investing in cutting edge technology?
Innovation is at the root of who Arcteryx is. But for us, what's really critical is to understand what both our customers and what our shareholders value. We know that we need to continue to build that brand and that growth for our shareholders with new product innovation. For our customers, that means finding that right intersection of both innovation, durability, and sustainability. And a large part of that is in our material choices. It's a large part of our contribution to our carbon footprint. But there's a lot of work happening in that space right now, from recycle to bio-based, smart, responsibly sourced, different, more innovative treatments that will actually still ensure that the materials perform the way we expect them to do. And the same really does hold true for manufacturing as well. Not much has changed in the 30 years that I've been in the business. When you go on a factory floor today, it looks very much the same. So there's a lot of opportunity to design solutions that will allow us to scale in a socially responsible way. And that actually really starts well before the product hits that factory floor.
Well, so when we're speaking about technology, the impact of digitalization in this industry, I mean, it's caused a lot of disruptions, the pandemic, and companies have had to embrace more of their digital presence online. What is your view on this? Do you think this trend is here to stay?
I think definitely is here to stay. What is digitalization? But it's essentially all about communication. It's about faster, more accurate, perhaps even smarter communication. It's all about our ability to make good decisions and quicker decisions so that we could actually turn faster. The pandemic has really limited our ability to be there in person and to communicate in person and provide all the nuances that it takes to make great product. So we've actually really leaned into 3D tools, for instance, and taking that to the next step, moving away from doing 2D flats and then making physical product, but rather starting in 3D and then flattening that out so that it can be manufactured, and then reviewing it through a 3D as well as a physical process. So it's kind of an exciting space to be in, certainly new for us. But we're learning.
It's very exciting to hear you speak of all these. I suppose they're innovative words, they're fresh words, they're about the now and looking forward. What is your view on when the vaccine for this pandemic is available? Do you feel that there will be a return of business confidence? Do you think that sourcing will return to pre-pandemic times?
I think we've learned a lot in this pandemic. Certainly for us as a brand, we realize that we actually, to do what we do, we have very long lead times for our product. We also spend a tremendous amount of time in that design and development of that product. What this pandemic has taught us is that we actually have to come up with a business model that's going to be a lot more responsive, a lot more nimble, and a lot more agile to cope. And I think our new sourcing practices as we move through our calendar in which we work is going to completely shift and change as we move forward. From a consumer perspective, I think the brand is confident. We're in the outdoor space. The outdoors is where people have flocked to during this pandemic. It's a place where people feel safe. And I think that trend is going to continue as we attract people into this outdoor, even though it's a result of the pandemic. I think the outdoor industry is positioned well for the future.
Well, your agility and your confidence is very inspiring. I know Arcteryx will be doing very well. I appreciate you sharing your time with us today. Thank you so much, Shirley Chan.
Thank you.
Hope to see you in person soon. Maybe we can visit you in Vancouver, or you can come to the next ITMA gathering when we have one in person.
On the agenda when we can travel once again.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Shirley. Well, everyone, we've come to the end of another ITMA live session, Forging Ahead Amidst a Pandemic. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our ITMA channel on YouTube and stay tight because our next episode we have a special guest, Dr. Ingo Malman from Olderkun Nonwoven. Until then, stay positive.